Hey, Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host, Jade Reyna, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Ed, Edd, and Eddy was one of the weirdest shows when I was a kid, and I love it. I never really understood what the relationship was between the Eds. Like, I knew they were best friends. There was like the dumb one, and like Double D was like a little bit smarter, and then there was like the really dumb one, but they were just like crazy. The whole thing was just insanity non-stop. There was a kid that had a plank, there was those girls that bullied everyone, and the whole style itself was really trippy, how the show kind of seems like it's constantly like jiving around. But if the cartoon at face value wasn't enough of a trip for you, I will have you know that there are a ton of fan theories about the show that will leave you scratching your head. And because I don't want to be lost in my confusion alone, I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 Scary Ed, Edd, and Eddy theories. If any of you at home want to check out some of the merch that we have here for Most Amazing Top 10, you should look at the link in the description below and use the offer code MA10. That will give you $5 off. Without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have They Are All in Purgatory. Probably the most famous Ed, Edd, and Eddy fan theory. The whole show takes place in Purgatory. The idea is that it's a section of Purgatory that is only for kids. That is why you never see any adults in the show. That is a pretty grim outlook on everything that happens, but it would explain why there's so many characters that are able to do insanely dangerous things and never get hurt. Well, outside the fact that it's a cartoon, of course. Well, this also explains why the show seems to take place both in the 90s and the 2000s. That has always been something very strange and mysterious about the show. What year is it? The fashion is kind of all over the place, with each character having some pretty outlandish ideas of what they could wear, but there are hints from both decades. This could be because kids died at different times and brought back the respective looks with them, which is cool if you ignore the fact that they might all be dead. I mean, I don't know if that's what the creators had in mind when they made the show, but who knows? Maybe they were all like, hey, let's make a show full of dead kids, gonna be messed up. At number 9, we have Ed, Edd, and Eddy are children of criminals. The main theme of Ed, Edd, and Eddy is the gang wants to get their hands on some money so they can go to the candy store and get some massive jawbreakers. I mean, it's not every episode, but a lot of the episodes are about them getting cold, hard cash so they can trade it in for candy. Now, when the trio realizes that it's time to develop a plan to make some money, they never go down the straight and narrow. They're never like, oh, we should get jobs, then we should use the money and invest in something, and then one day we can all have comfortable savings and eat all the candy we want. No, they always do something that's like shady, like criminal-ish, coming up with some insane scheme to usually con some people out of money, which makes for better TV. But if you're asking why are they always trying to rip people off? Well, the answer could be that all three of their parents are criminals and possibly in prison, and they sort of imprinted their criminal ideas onto their children. There's also the idea that this is where their friendship started. They were all in a group home for kids with criminal parents, and this could be why you never see their parents. At number 8, we have Ed, Edd, and Eddy are going to have some major health problems. The three of them, along with a lot of other characters on the show, are always eating candy. Every day they try to ingest jawbreakers that are so big they stretch their mouths out larger than their heads. Do you realize how much sugar that is? If you ate one of those things, you'll get some sort of sugar poisoning or some sort of poisoning. I mean, just from the food coloring alone. I mean, who would let their kid eat something like that? They're all gonna get childhood diabetes. Okay, you guys might not think this one is scary, but health is very important, and childhood diabetes is a real thing, so I put it on the list. At number 7, we have Plank is connected to the real world. Running off the theory that they're all in purgatory, we have the idea that Plank is a physical manifestation of an anchor to the outside world. If you don't know who Plank is, it's Johnny's wooden friend who he carries around with him everywhere like a discount teddy bear, which supplies him with the confidence to go out to the world and talk to people face to face. Now, Johnny is always talking to Plank, and it's probably because he's an insecure little boy who needs something to feel safe. But some people think that Plank is actually talking to him, that voices from the land of the living are reaching out through Plank. Maybe even a medium is connected to Plank. This is why Johnny freaks out every time the two are separated. It's not because he has terrible separation anxiety, but it's because it's his anchor to the real world, and without it, Johnny has to face the fact that he is actually dead. And that might be too much for the little dude to handle. At number 6, we have personal traumas. How do you come up with the inspiration for a show? Well, a lot of people will pull from their actual lives, and the Ed, Edd, and Eddy creator Daniel Antonucci said he did the exact same thing. Not every single episode, but some of the episodes are based on his personal experiences. Now, with everything that goes on in the show, I have to wonder if Daniel had some major traumatizing experiences happen to him. A lot goes on in the show, from bullying to near-death experiences, and some things that seem like borderline child abuse. Also, I want you guys to know that I'm not dissing the show in any way. I am a big fan. I loved this show when I was growing up, and shout out to it being Canadian. That is awesome, but I still wonder if Daniel is okay. At number 5, we have what is under Double D's hat. One of the big questions that everyone who's a fan of the show has always asked is what is going on under Double D's hat. This is because he will fight tooth and nail to keep his hat on his head. No one has ever seen him without his hat off, except for his two best friends, Ed and Eddy. There's only been 2 times when his hat has come off in the show. This had made people think that there was all sorts of strange things that could be going on under his hat. Staying on the purgatory kick, some people think that it could be a portal to the real world that Double D is keeping secret. Other people think that it's some sort of horrible growth that he has on his head, like a second twin that could be the 4th Ed. And other people think that he just went bald super young and he's insecure about it. At number 4, we have ROLF is an alien. One of the best characters in the show is ROLF. He brings a ton of comedy to the series, and he's also the star of one of the most famous memes ever made, ROLF looking out the window. Now, where is ROLF from? That information is never divulged. Not at any point in the show do we find out what country this quirky character is from. This is most likely so you can have him take on all sorts of strange quirks without it seeming offensive in any way, which is a huge save because right now, if someone could, they would pull that out and get upset by it. They would be like, oh, look at this show, it was mean, blah, 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 blah. But other people think it's actually because he is not from this planet. You never find out where he's from because if you did, it would reveal his secret that he's actually from another planet, and it would explain a lot of the strange customs that he has. At number 3, we have the chemical spill. I mean, there's a lot of evidence to back this up. There's no parents, so some people think that the whole area was quarantined because of a spill, and the parents were all at work. The parents came back to find out that the whole area had been quarantined off and they could not rescue their kids. They thought they all died, but they live in the hazard zone. When you think about it, all the people on the show seem to have superhuman abilities in some way, like super strength or durability, and even the redhead canker sister reveals her eyes at one point, and she has 3 of them. That's a mutation if I have ever seen one. And for the number 2 slot, we have ROLF is GOKU. Okay, just please hear me out on this one. This one is very crazy, but if you know that I'm doing a list, the crazier the theory, the more I want to put it on the list. So let's go through this one, because I've got a few points, I swear to God. So we have that it's possibly all in purgatory, right? They're all in purgatory, they're all died. Who has also died and come back to life? GOKU. We have that ROLF could be an alien. Who else is an alien? GOKU. And we also have the fact that ROLF and GOKU were voiced by the same guy. So the idea is that in part of Goku's training with one of the Kais, while he was dead, he took the form of ROLF and went to the Ed, and Eddy Purgatory to understand this crazy world so he could prepare for unorthodox combat. On top of that, ROLF is insanely good at sports, showing up Ed on more than one occasion, and he has a passion for farming. Who is also athletic and very good at farming. At the start of Dragon Ball Super, we see Goku farming a lot. I know this is all over the place and crazy, but it's so fun. I had to put it on the list. And for the number 1 slot, we have Plank is alive. So if the show isn't in purgatory, then is Plank just an inanimate object a kid uses to deal with his own anxiety? I mean, maybe, but there are too many episodes where Plank does weird things that make him seem like he's actually alive and kicking. Like several times when Johnny is nowhere to be found, but Plank is present, and then Johnny shows up and he's completely aware of everything that happened while he was gone, as if Plank told him, or that they have some sort of psychic connection and he can see through Plank's eyes. There's also been episodes where Plank seems to move on his own without anyone touching him. He will move so quickly that even Johnny has no idea where his little board has gone. And on top of all this, there was the time that Plank was sitting in the driver's seat of a school bus and steering it no problemo like it was Grand Theft Auto. Not to mention that Plank is a whole family, and Johnny probably made this family, but with everything I just said, it would make a lot of sense that Plank's mama and papa birthed him in the weirdest labor I can imagine. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Shade Arena, and keep watching Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Find more conspiracy theories, send them to me. I love the show, I love those theories. Goodbye. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I was just feeling in the moment. Bye.